Hi Capricorn, and welcome to your March 2015 Taroscope reading with me. I hope you've all had a wonderful February and looking forward to a healthy, prosperous March. Let's see what cards turn up for you. This month we're going to be doing a 4-card reading, and they are going to be specific set cards. So the first card will be relationships, including romantic relationships. The second will be finances, the third will be health, and the fourth will be career. And then we will take a look at a couple of other cards to finish off the reading. So let's see what comes up for you, Capricorn. Judgment, the 5 of Wands, the King of Cups, and the 5 of Cups. Now, bearing in mind, that we are going to be doing each of these for set specific things. So this is for relationships and romances, this is for finances, this is for health, and this is for career. If we look at the first card, and this will cover the broad spectrum of the month for you. So if we look at the first card and we look under relationships and romances, if we look at this from the perspective of relationships or love, look at these guys down here in the boat. It's as if they're all, looking up at this going, what's going on here? What's happening? So it's about not jumping to conclusions and not making hasty decisions over issues that may crop up, or judgmentalism of people that are turning up in your life or situations. It's about slowing down and giving people chances to be heard, to put their words across, and to see if they have some valid viewpoints to offer you, or that their side of the story is worth listening to and has a part to play as well. So it can also be a spiritual card because it's one of the major arcanas, and we have this angel from the heavens trumpeting down messages. So you may even feel as though you're getting a spiritual connection or message about someone in your life, or a real deep connection feeling to someone. And these times when you get that sort of deeper, connection or bond, is the time when you should listen to your gut instincts, to your subconscious, to your thoughts, your daydreams, and they can give you important messages about whether you're on the right path with a certain relationship, whether it be romantic, work-related, friends, or family. So it's about listening to yourself. Definitely, it's hearing, isn't it? We see this whole communication ambience going on here. These people are definitely listening while this one is doing the talking, but I always find that relationships have to be very much a two-way flow, so it's not all just about one person doing the talking. And this will also mean about yourself, Capricorn. Make sure you're listening as well as doing some talking. It can be that other people around you may have some problems, and they may come to you with their problems, and they may be seeking help. And if you can offer good, sound, trustworthy help for them, then that's a blessing. However, know that there are times when you aren't always able to solve everyone else's problems, and sometimes they just have to work through them themselves because it's their lesson in life. You can be there as a support person to have them cry on your shoulder as such, but you may not be able to resolve or solve all of your friends' issues one way or another. Now, just before I go any further, if you're listening to that noise in the background, it's the sound of summer cicadas. We've had a very hot summer here in New Zealand, and they're all starting to crack out now and sing their mating song. So don't worry about the noise, but I do have to have the windows open because it's a little bit too hot to work in my office without that open. In fact, I love the sound of them. It is this real summer sound. So I hope you get the feeling of summer flowing around you while you're listening to this reading. If we talk about romance with this card, it could be down the horizon for you. It's almost like something that you are seeing in the future or in the distance. And one of the things it could be, don't jump to a conclusion about a new romance either. So if someone new pops into your life and you think, "Ooh, I don't fancy this person," or "I don't like the way they behave," give it a little bit of time and don't be too judgmental about it, because oftentimes we'll make a rash decision about someone straight away and it's not necessarily the right decision, and we can be blindfolded thereafter about their potentiality of being a good friend or a mate or something along those lines. So I think the message is there, don't rock the boat. Look, they're all in floating vessels of some sort, so it's like, don't rock those vessels, because they're quite delicate, and often new relationships can be very delicate as well, and you do have to stand back and allow time and also allow the judgment to drop and try and see beyond first impressions if you can. Now if we come to the next card, we said here that the second card would be finances. And we have here the Five of Wands for finances. So it could feel as though there's a bit of tension around finances for the month of March for you. It's like you feel like you've got to put your barriers up, or you're fending off a whole bunch of different people perhaps wanting some of your money. So you may have quite a few outstanding bills and you might be thinking, oh, how am I going to pay all these? It's about balancing them. It's about paying off the most important ones first and maybe putting the others on hold a little bit. It's be honest with people and let them know that you're making the best attempts to meet your financial obligations. Don't go and uplift perhaps new obligations or loans in and around March. But things generally get better when the wands are around. They're a quick moving energy. They're not a long-term problem, so it should be relatively short-lived. So within a couple of weeks, possibly a few weeks, you should feel a bit of a lightening and maybe a little bit more money coming in there for you. Now if we move to health, we have the King of Cups, and he is a very gentle, heart chakra related, spiritual related energy, and it sort of suggests that if you are actually seeing anyone for any health reasons, like a doctor or a healer of any sorts, that you're in you are in good hands, and that we must accept also that we perhaps need to go to healers, whether they be physical, emotional, spiritual, at any level. We sometimes require the help of other people to do some healing work, and that at this point in time it would appear he is probably a very worthy person to have around for helping through these situations. And another thing that he oozes is compassion. So there might be a message there for you to show compassion, which kind of comes a little bit back to this one here. It's about dealing with a lot of things in your month of March that might come up that you could, instead of maybe get angry about or upset or uptight, flip that completely over into the realm of compassion. And compassion enables us to see from the other side much more easily. It actually lowers your anxiety rates, it lowers fear and aggression, because it's the complete opposite of those, which are very negative vibrations. So if you bring yourself back down into a feeling of compassion and understanding of other people's problems and issues as well as your own, be compassionate for yourself too, you might find that you feel calmer and things run a little bit more smoothly. Now if we come to the last card here, which is the Five of Cups, and this is for career, it might suggest that you have a feeling of wondering if you're in the right job. Some of you might be thinking, oh God, do I really enjoy this job anymore? Is this where I'm meant to be going? And it could be a signal for you to perhaps spend a bit of time contemplating your future or your career. Like, is there a possibility that you could attempt to either upskill yourself or go in a sideways direction within the same company? It has that feeling about it that you may be feeling just a little bit, not as enthralled in your job as you perhaps have been in the past. If you're seeking employment, there could be delays. Don't get worked up about that either. Go with the flow, be proactive, don't be pushy. And I think here it's talking about dreaming. You're spending energy in contemplative thought about planning your future especially. So, when we spend time when we're dreaming, we're creating. That's the essential essence of life, and it's powerful, it's potent, and it's important. We often create our direction forth through our daydreams and our aspirations and our thoughts. You know, he's looking here, he's spending time looking at what he feels he's lost, but he doesn't see that there's a slightly different avenue or path or knowledge perspective on the other side of this. I'll move it over so you can see. So that covers off the 4 cards for your reading for March. Let's move into this. I'm going to use the Goddess cards for you. And a lot of you seem to have enjoyed last month's little kind of, what do we call it at the end of the reading? Like, you can ask a question and this will give you a perspective of an answer. Now, it won't necessarily give you the exact answer, but what it will give you is a way to think about how to address your question. Now guys, stick to one question. Don't ask like 3 or 4 at once. Just pick one. Think about it. If you have to stop and think, turn the video off, that's all good. And we'll see what comes up for you. What Goddess energy is going to come your way to empower you to help answer your question. Ein, leap of faith. I absolutely adore this card myself. I don't know why. It's just particularly beautiful to look at. Take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. It actually is quite a specific one for answering a question, interestingly enough. Excuse me guys. Now I have no idea what question it is you've asked, but it's saying to you, take that leap of faith. You know, have faith that you can either accomplish the question that you've asked and that you need to set it into action. So let's say you've asked, well, should I move states for my career? It's saying take a leap of faith. Obviously you need to look into everything first and make sure that the leap of faith is connected and that you've worked everything out. But if you just sit home worrying about your options or your choices and not doing anything, then that lack of action is actually more negative than taking action. I do particularly love this card and I think it's a glorious message to get. So there you are, Capricorn. You have had a really nice reading for March 2015 and I wish you the best and take a leap of faith, guys. Kia kaha and much aroha.